What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the Thomas Gallery, and today I want to talk about art in hip hop. Now, I said hip hop, not rap. Slow down. There's a difference. Okay? Now, hip hop is comprised of quote unquote elements. Okay? These elements are subgenres that one can find a way to be creative within hip hop. And they are rapping, or MCing, graffiti, b-boy or breakdancing, DJing, okay, be a DJ, and the fifth one that no one really talks about but they should is knowledge. Okay, now what I want to talk about is art, the visual arts like painting, drawing, right, in the entire field of hip hop, all five elements. Okay, now art, like they go hand in hand. Like art, hip hop, they go hand because one of the genres is a form of visual arts, graffiti. Okay, and what happens is they have gone they have gone side by side since hip hop started. Okay, wherever you had hip hop, you had the art present. You had paintings present. You had graffiti present. Like I said, graffiti is one of the elements of hip hop. You had them present. So wherever you saw one, you saw the other. That's how it's always been. There was always a painting representing hip hop. There's always been a painting representing a song. There's always been some kind of drawing representing breakdancing or b-boy. There's always been a piece of a drawing or a painting representing obviously graffiti. There's always been a painting representing DJing. I've seen plenty of paintings where you see a person being a DJ on the turntables. There have always been a painting representing knowledge. Like that's always been there. Since I've been alive, I've never been a time where I've seen hip hop not represented in some kind of painting, some kind of drawing. Okay, so that tells you how locked in they are together. Like you you can't even talk about one without talking about the other. Okay, so art and hip hop, they they go together. Peanut butter and jelly, pepperoni pizza, butter toast, you go together. They go together. Okay, so what has happened is I've seen with the growth of hip hop, the art painting has grown. Like I've heard more rap lyrics connected with a painting or an artist living on dead than ever before. I mean, Jay-Z made a song called Picasso Baby. That tells you right there how locked in they are. You know, I've heard in reference to Jean-Michel Basquiat. I've heard Andy Warhol references. I've heard Jeff Koons references. I've heard so many different references to artists that I've heard Frank Lloyd Wright. I've heard Frank Gehry. You know, I've heard so many references to the arts in hip hop that just you go together like that. So just to sum it all up, it's a little random dawn. You know, I think the way, I mean, to me, I think it actually elevates the content in hip hop. If you want hip hop to grow, add more painters, add more more sketch artists, more architects into it, and watch it grow. Watch them both grow at the same time. Like and they never split apart. People think they separate. No, painters and hip hop were never separate. Never, because 9 times out of 10, those rappers, those graffiti artists, those breakdancers, those DJs probably grew up with those artists. They grew up with them. They probably grew up with them. They didn't know each other, but they probably grew up with them in that neighborhood or in that era. And it's like, hey, yeah, I grew up around Basquiat in New York. Yeah, I never knew who he was, but I remember hearing something about Samo. Yeah, I grew up around there, so I'm gonna talk about it because that's what I grew up around. So art and hip hop, two sides of the same coin. It's like I said, art is in hip hop, and hip hop is an art, right? So hope you enjoyed that. Catch y'all later. Peace.